Hey everyone, North Central here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and get into the knot tying of the knot tying series that I do. This is going to be video, actually it's going to be video 2 because I had an intro before this. And if you haven't seen the intro, I advise you to go back and go ahead and watch the intro video called Rope Terminology. It's going to make things a little bit easier as I go through and talk about tying knots with cordage. And I'm going to be using 550 cordage. I'm going to be using this real nice bright orange. It's going to go real well with this black table that I have here whenever I bring the camera up closer. But we're going to tie today the bowline knot, or the bowline knot, or the Bowline knot is how I actually pronounce it. The Bowline knot is one of 4 or 5 ancient maritime knots. As far as maritime knots are concerned, or sailing knots, it is the king of knots. A lot of different uses on a boat or ship or a sailing vessel with the Bowline knot. It is also a very ancient knot, henceforth the ancient maritime. It is believed that it was found on a pharaoh's ship of Egypt that they unearthed and dug out of the sand. So very, very ancient knot, very old knot, very useful knot. It's probably the one knot that I use most of the time. You know, I don't do a lot of videos of me going out into the woods to do a lot of different things that I do out there, hunting and fishing and hiking and biking and whatnot like that. But you can be guaranteed that most of the time the cordage that I take in my packs and stuff that I take out there, a lot of those already have the Bowline knot tied onto them. So enough about that. Let's go ahead and get into the Bowline knot. I'm going to show you 3 different ways that I tie it. Not necessarily the different ways that I tie it, but 3 different types of Bowline knots. There's many different types. I'm going to show you the actual ancient maritime knot, the one that is required by the Boy Scouts for advancement. Show you how to tie that one. I'm going to show you how to tie a little bit of a modification to that, because I like to put a quick release into it. So I'm going to show you how to do the quick release Bowline knot. And then I'm also going to show you how to do the bowline in the bight, or the bowline bight knot. The bight being, of course, you know, the cordage in between the working and standing ends. Everything in between those is considered the bight of the rope. So let's go ahead and get set up and we'll get started. Alright, so right here in front of me I have a 7 or 8 foot long piece of paracord here, nice bright orange, blaze orange, and it's going to go real good against this table. You can see it really well. So the bowline knot, pretty easy. You're going to get your working end, okay, the end that you're working with. From that you're going to go down about a foot or so, okay, and just a foot or so from the working end. From there you're going to make an overhand cross, which comes into a small loop, okay, small loop. From there you're going to take your working end, you're going to go through your starting loop, go ahead and push it through, and you're going to make your finish loop, okay. So you've got your finish loop and then you've got your starting loop, and I'm sorry if my big fat fingers get in the way. Now your working end is here, okay. You're going to go under your standing bight. This is considered the standing bight because it's not being used, it's just standing still. Go under your standing bight and then back through your starting loop, okay. And then you're just going to pull your standing bight tight and start pulling on pieces of the cordage to get everything fairly tight. And there you go. That is the bowline knot. Now let's go ahead and go through it and tie it again, just so I can make sure I don't get my fat fingers in the way. So start with the working end, go down about a foot or so, make your starting loop, your overhand starting loop. See how it goes over the standing end, right? Or the standing bight. So you've got your starting loop, take your working end, go through your starting loop from the bottom, get that down there out the way, like so. This is going to be your finish loop, your starting loop, and your working end. Your working end is going to go, let me switch hands here. Your working end is going to go around your standing bite, around the back of it, okay? So underneath, like so. Switch fingers. So your standing, your working end is now gone underneath the standing bite part. It's going to go back through your starting loop. Okay, finish loop, starting loop. Do that one more time. It's going to go back through your starting loop, like so. From there, you're just going to pull on your standing bite, which is going to close up your starting loop, and then you're just going to pull everything else nice and tight. And when you're done, you have a very nice bowline knot. Bowline knot's very useful. You see it, all its main purpose is to put a loop at the end of your cordage. So that is the Boy Scout required ancient maritime bowline knot. Now I'm going to show you a slight modification that I do. And it's a slight modification because I like to put a quick release in it. So your working end, go down about 1.5 feet or so. Make your overhand cross to make your starting loop. You're going to go back through your starting loop. So now you have your starting loop and your finish loop. Again, you're going to take your working end underneath your standing bite. Now this is where it gets a little bit different from the regular. Instead of taking your working end and going back through your starting loop, you're going to come up here and just kind of double it over and put that through your starting loop. Okay, so basically you're almost going to have 3 loops here. You have your starting loop here at the top, have your finish loop right here, and then this little loop right here, which is going to be your quick release. You're going to pull your standing bite to close your starting loop up, and then just like you do it regularly with a regular bowline, you're just going to pull everything nice and tight. Okay? Now what that does is it gives you a quick release. You can put a stick in here, whatever it is, to keep this coming out. You use it just like you would a regular bowline knot. And then at the end of your trip or whatever, whenever you don't want a loop or something in your cordage, you just want a regular straight cordage that you can wind up on something or bind it up or roll it up or whatever and put it away. You just very simply pull your little tag on here, and that releases the bowline. Very nice, very simple, and now you have just your straight piece of cordage. So let's do that one more time. Go down about 1.5 feet or so, make your overhand loop, like so. Take your working end back through the back side of your starting loop to where you have your finish loop, and then your starting loop, finish loop, starting loop. Your working end is going to go around the back side of your standing bite. Okay? And then instead of taking the working end back through your starting loop, you're just simply going to switch it up a little bit and put that through. Close up your starting loop by pulling on your standing bite, and then pull everything tight. That gives you a quick release bowline. So you've got your finish loop here, you've got your little loop here for your quick release, and then you've got your little tag here. When you're done, you simply pull the tag out, pull the loop, and that releases everything, and you're good to go. Okay, so for a in the bite bowline, or a bowline in the bite, however you want to say it, it's pretty easy. It's a little bit different tying. So you're going to get your working end or your standing end, or your working end and your standing end, whichever one. Anyways, you're going to get away from the ends and you're going to go into the bite of your rope up to where you have a loop here. Okay, so then it's not really a loop. Put your strings side by side like this. This point here where it doubles back onto itself. Okay, go down about a foot or so. And you're going to go ahead and do your starting overhand cross to get your starting loop, just like so. And then you're going to take the end, what I'm calling the end where the rope goes back over itself here. Put that through, okay, just like so. And you're going to have your starting loop, which you can make smaller, and your finish loop. Now this is where it gets a little bit different. You're going to take the loop that you stuck through your starting loop, and it's going to go over everything. Back over your two loops, like so, and you're going to bring it down back over here to your standing line, your standing bite. So basically what you're going to have is you're going to have your starting loop, your finish loop, and then that's come back around both to come back down here, okay, like so. And then it's a matter of pulling everything tight. And if you do it properly, you're going to have a nice knot that you can pull with any of the two bites. You can pull the loop, you can pull both, you can pull separate loops, whatever, but you now have a bowline in the bite of your cordage. So let's go through that again. A little bit more difficult to untie it, but so working in, standing in, working in, standing in, doesn't matter, put them together, come back to where your end of your rope comes back onto itself and you get sort of a loop. Go down about a foot, foot and a half or so, go ahead and make your starting loop, okay? Now, the end here is going to go back through the back of your starting loop to make your finish loop, like so. Starting loop, finish loop. Then your end is going to go back over both of those loops to come down here at the bottom. Now you can see I've made that a little bit big, but that's okay. Then you're just going to pull everything nice and tight, like so. That is a bowline in the bite. Alright, so that's the bowline knot. I hope that was useful. I hope that if you didn't know how to tie it, that you can follow along with the video and learn how to tie one of the three types that I've tied. The original maritime Boy Scout advancement bowline, the quick release bowline that I normally use whenever I'm out in the field somewhere, or even the in the bite bowline, or the bowline in the bite. Very, very useful knot. It's probably the one knot that I use the most when I'm out somewhere. So hope that was helpful, and until next time, this is North Central. Thanks for watching.